Hello and welcome to the Candlelight Podcast, where I, Mohamed Abdalla, talk about different topics, including some of my favorites, which are movies, martial arts, and philosophy. Guys, before I get to this week's quote, I have to acknowledge the issue with the audio that the last episode had. Ironic how after I got an audio interface, it happened. Basically, what happened, what went down is, apparently for some reason, the last 10-ish minutes of the previous episode kind of had some sort of static in it. I don't know what caused that. I don't know I was about to say what caused that to happen. It was like I'm using cause twice. Anyway, I don't know why that happened. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure that out. I tried to edit it out, but I couldn't. And I can't redo the podcast because it's already out there. I already said what I needed to say. I don't want to speak my heart out and then have to repeat myself in the same platform, in the same place. It's out there. The art is done. It's separate from the artist. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm getting too ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm sorry about what happened last week. It's so ironic. It's really ironic that that happened right after I got the audio interface, which made the entire episode sound much better. However, it's just that 10 minutes of static from I don't know what. I don't know what caused it. Really, it didn't even appear the sound didn't even appear in my headphones as I'm listening to myself right now speak. And nothing really came up. It just kind of was there after I was done with the episode, and I didn't know how to fix it. But hopefully, I'm gonna be kind of more aware of things like that, and I'm gonna do checks at random points of the of my recordings. Just kind of like stop, make sure the sound is good, then get back into the flow. That's only after I break the flow in my speech. I'm not gonna be talking about a specific topic or a certain subject matter and then just like cut in the middle of it and then go check and come back and then try to continue. No. That's breaking the flow. And we're all about the flow here. We're all about the zone. When we zone in, we stay there. Yeah, okay. So anyway, this week's quote, guys. This week's quote is believe you can and you're halfway there. Believe you can and you're halfway there. As iterated by no other than the former president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. Now, if there is anyone you want to get some quotes and insights from, it's this guy. This guy was the man's man. This guy was just صراحة يعني. This guy did it all. He just did it all. He served in the army. He graduated from Harvard with honors. He was a boxer, amateur boxer, and then he goes on to kind of a crazy career of just doing manly stuff and hunting and horse riding and doing whatever there is for a man to do. And then, to top it all off, he becomes president. He becomes the youngest president to have ever become president at 42 years of age. Yeah, 42. I know that's kind of weird, considering the current president and the last president of the United States were well over 70 years old. But no, there was once a guy who was 42 years old and became president. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah. And he held office for, I think, 8 years and then died 11 years after relinquishing the title of president. And funny thing, you want to know how tough this guy was? You want to know how much of a man this guy was? The former vice president, after Teddy Roosevelt died, said that, wait, what was the quote again? Death had to take, So the president Theodore Roosevelt died in his sleep 11 years after moving out of office. And when he died, the former vice president, now I'm not sure who his name is. Let me actually look that up because I don't want to attribute it to someone who did not say it. I want to actually also mention the person's name bonus quote. So Vice President Thomas Marshall, who's former right now, obviously, because it was 100 years ago, said that death had to take Roosevelt in his sleep. For if he had been awake, there would have been a fight. Yeah, basically he was that type of dude. Roosevelt was smart, athletic, charismatic. He has his face carved into a mountain somewhere. Okay, not somewhere. It's the Black Hills. It's the Black Hills that was sacred to the Native Americans, the Lakota to be specific, and the obviously the colonials, the whites, kind of just took it over and were like, this for us now. For us, not you. I don't know why I use that accent. Anyway. But yeah, so that's what happened. He has his face covered into the mountain. This guy was something. Not like the current president would say. No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. Anyway, how are you guys doing? The few of you that listen to this. I hope there is more coming in from the future listening to this right now. I really hope so. But right now, it's not anyone really. There's no one that I know of that regularly watches the episodes. But if you're there, please do comment. I want to know if you're there. Let me know. Because I got no comments. I got a few views. One of them from a friend. Oh, by the way, guys, I didn't really advertise this podcast at all. I don't want to advertise it. I didn't even tell it to my immediate family, other, than my parents. I didn't even, talk to my cousins or aunts and uncles or anyone like that. Because I just want this podcast to grow naturally. I want it to grow on its own merits, not because word of mouth kind of spread and people are like, oh, let's check it out because a person I know told me about it. No, I kind of want it to, take its own path, see where it goes. I'm kind of interested. So, apart from my parents and one friend that I told about this podcast, I didn't even tell this to my brothers and sisters, by the way. So I'm just kind of doing my thing right here in my own room, having this audio interface right here, making it look like a professional studio, which it is absolutely not. I'm recording in it to a USB microphone that's plugged into a interface right now. It used to be just plugged straight into the computer, but now it's in an interface, and the interface is plugged into the computer, and I'm rambling right now. Sorry about that. Anywho, some interesting stuff happened this week. Not much, but yeah, here and there. As interesting as it can get in this post-COVID era that we're living in. So actually, right before starting to record this podcast, I was in a Zoom call with someone from the psychology department in my university, and I'm not a psychology major. You know that. I'm a multimedia student. I'm a multimedia senior at this point, but I do have a vested interest in psychology. I love that field. I'm really interested and fascinated by it. So there was this there was this call for Emirati volunteers to basically help in conducting interviews with other locals, with other Emiratis of different ages. And they wanted people from the locals to interview the locals in the local language, Arabic, obviously. They wanted people to basically, volunteers such as myself, kind of interview locals and see what opinions they have on certain social matters. The specific social matter is apparently, as shown by the study, it's globalization and how we may or may not be moving towards a more secular world and where, quote unquote, religion is not as highly regarded as it was before. So, I'm an interviewer in this study. I kind of participated by being an interviewer and not necessarily the interviewee. I'm not the person they're asking these questions to. I'm the person asking the questions to different people. They give me random people. I don't even know their names. I just can hear their voices through a Zoom call. I can't even see their face in order to keep a more professional and non-biased approach to the whole thing. So that's how they're conducting it, and it's a really interesting subject to explore, especially right now in this growing, this time in the UAE, this kind of stage of the UAE's life, this young country's 50-year-old life. It's really a young country. It's almost 50 years ago right now that it's been founded. So, and the thing is, there was a lot of social and economical change within those 50 years, both here nationally and internationally. And we want to see the effects of that change on the people and their mindsets. So I'll just give you my take on the matter and basically tell you what I think of the whole thing. Not the study itself. It's an interesting study. That's why why I volunteered. But I'm gonna give you my kind of input, my limited observation, limited insight. Let me say on the matter. But an insight that I hope that really kind of believe in and really hope other people listen to. And by the way, that's the whole point of this podcast, is for me to take what I believe to be true and right and beneficial and just spread it out there in the world. Let it go into this little microphone over here and let it go into the internet and just reach out millions of people. Billions, hopefully. Yeah. Go big or go home. Yeah, I'm getting too ambitious right now, but hey. إذا تمنيت فاستكثر. Oh, another bonus quote. So yeah, إذا تمنيت فاستكثر means in Arabic, it's a quote that says, if you dream big. That's basically it. So my thoughts about this globalization kind of study. Sorry, not the study. The idea of globalization and moving to a more secular world that we are currently kind of observing around us today. As you know, I'm an Emirati, I'm an Arab, and I've been born and raised here in the UAE, and I've been raised to be a Muslim, and that's my parents' religion, my grandparents' religion, going back to, whenever one of my great-grandparents who used to be a polytheist became a monotheist, became a Muslim. And I really, man, in the afterlife, I really want to talk to that person and see what it was like. I really want to see, why did you convert to Islam? What made you think this religion was the right religion? Why did you, I really want to ask all these questions to my ancestor. I want to know what convinced them to leave their parents' religion that they practiced for hundreds and hundreds of years to become a Muslim, to follow the right religion. I want to know what went on through their minds, why they chose to do that big step. So anyway, I'm born and raised Muslim here in the Emirati. I'm a local. I'm an Emirati Muslim who happens to be male. So I'm going to give you my kind of insights. Hopefully it's going to be beneficial. Hopefully, and by the way, guys, anything that I say is true and beneficial is from Allah, and anything that I say that is wrong or misleading, it's from me and the devil. So please take this and evaluate what I say. Don't just take it at face value. Don't take it at just accept it just straight across the board. No. Bring your own critiques. Think for yourself. Think critically. Become a free thinker. Don't let anyone tell you how to think. You think for yourself. And you'll hopefully get to the right path. Hopefully. Inshallah. Anyway, so are we moving to a more secular world? Well, the thing is, we are, in a sense, moving away from what we would describe as religion. What we use the word religion to describe. However, there is a problem here that is not really recognized still. Yet, up until our point in history, this problem is recognized only by Muslims and more theologians, rather than like the secular world, like the West, for example. It's not the word religion. It's kind of a loaded term, and it gives out the wrong connotations. When people think religion, the first religion that comes to mind, generally speaking, is Christianity, or Islam, or Judaism, or Hinduism, or these ideas come to mind where there is a set of rules, and there's a god or gods that are upholding those rules, or they want you to do this, they want you to do that, they don't want you to do this, they don't want you to do that, and you either go to heaven or hell if you're good or bad, and there's some sort of judgment and all of that stuff. So there you go. And most people would agree with me that this is what religion constitutes. There's a holy book, there is a holy figure, there is a god involved, and that's what most people agree that the word religion is, basically, what it constitutes. I'd say that's kind of incorrect. Because if you look, for example, on the religion of Buddhism, if I ask any person, they'd say, Buddhism is a religion, sure. But when you think about it, Buddhism doesn't even mention the idea of God. It doesn't even mention that there is a deity that we have to worship or listen to or do. It just says, basic, simple things, according to my very, very minimal research about Buddhism. It says, just, love all that's around you, be one with the earth, do unto others what you do to yourself, what you want them to do unto yourself. It's the golden rule and things like that. Not necessarily anything about worship God and only God and all the other faiths are wrong or yeah. So is it still a religion in that sense? It does have a book. It does have a figure like Buddha, but it doesn't necessarily have a concept of an almighty deity. So is it still a religion? And by the way, so this is the question we have to ask ourselves. It's like, where do we draw the line between what is religion and what is not? Because let me phrase this. Let me say this phrase, and it's really important for us all to understand this. Not may depending on what you believe the word religion to be. Let's take it for what we think it is, which is there's the idea of God, a holy book, and whatever set of rules. Not everyone is religious. However, everyone follows an ideology, and everyone is dogmatic. That's a correct statement. And let me elaborate. What do I mean by that? Not everyone follows a religion. Not everyone follows a set of rules or follows a holy book or a holy figure or a set of gods or one god. Not everyone really kind of subscribes to that. However, every single person on the planet subscribes to an ideology. What is an ideology? An ideology, well, let me give you first the definition of an ideology you can get from, whatever the Oxford Dictionary tells you, which, by the way, as authoritative as that sounds, Oxford Dictionary, it's from the University of Oxford, all that stuff. Nah, you take it with a grain of salt. This is a dictionary written by people who came from a specific background, and it's loaded with their kind of connotations of whatever the world and words are. So when you, for example, let's start with the word religion. What does the Oxford Dictionary says about the word religion? What is the meaning of it? Well, let's get into it. I'm looking this up right now. All right, here we go. The belief in the existence of a god or gods and the activities that are connected with the worship of them, or in the teachings of a spiritual leader. So basically what I told you that the general mainstream public thinks about the word religion. And just like I said, Buddhism doesn't really fit into that necessarily. If you take God or gods into consideration. So what does that make Buddhism? So let's go to the word ideology now. Ideology. Typing that up, looking it up, and here we go. So, a set of ideas that an economic or political system is based on. Now, is it really necessarily an economic or political system? For example, would you say that feminism is an ideology? I would say so, it is. It is an idea that is held by people. And the word ideology literally means the study of ideas. So, there we go. There's a second definition right there. A set of beliefs, especially one held by a particular group, that influences the way people behave. There you go. Closer to what I'm saying. But let me know. Doesn't this sound basically just like religion? Isn't it basically interchangeable? And that's what I kind of mean. Check this out. A set of beliefs, especially held by a particular group, that influences the way people behave. It basically is the same meaning as the word religion. So how do we necessarily differentiate between the two? So the way I kind of see it is that they're both, religion is defined in a not necessarily good way. I'll give you the kind of definition we Arabs use in the word religion, and the Arabic equivalent of the word religion, because it's not the exact same word, is the word deen. And deen is basically the way that someone lives their lives. That's it. Everyone has a deen, no? Everyone has a way of living their life. Even if it is just utter chaos, they don't have anything, no discipline or anything. That's still a deen. That's still a way of living your life. And everyone has one. Everyone has a set of beliefs as well. Everyone has a dogma. Dogma, let me look that word up right now just to show you what it means. Everyone is dogmatic. Everyone. So, one second. Before I make my next point, let me just define what dogma is. All right. Why are you not popping up? And now you're popping up, and there we go. So, dogma, a belief or set of beliefs held by a group or organization that others are expected to accept without argument. So, there you go. The only difference between dogma and ideology, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is that, first of all, the similarity is a belief or set of beliefs held by people. And then the differentiation rather, is others are expected to accept without argument. So, what I'm saying basically is not necessarily that the without argument part is true, but everyone has a set of beliefs. Everyone has a set of beliefs. Like when there are people who say, no, we're not religious, we're just completely rational and secular. It's like, nah. You're not religious, but you still have a set of beliefs that you need to justify first, in the first place. Why are your ideas correct? That's what I'm kind of talking about. Everyone has dogmatic beliefs, and everyone has to justify the beliefs that they have. Everyone has beliefs, and all we have to do is justify them. So when people kind of say, oh no, we're secular, we're rational, we don't have any ideas or beliefs or religions, nah. Correct, you don't have a religion in the conventional sense, but you do have ideas that need to be justified before you start teaching them to people as if they're true. For example, liberalism, how basically people are equal and they should be treated as equal. Okay, I'm not saying that they're not equal and they shouldn't be treated as equal, but go ahead and justify it. Prove to me from first principles of philosophy why we should follow your idea and not, for example, an idea that is completely radical to our minds, such as, no, racism is the right way to go, where this particular ethnic group of people is better than that particular ethnic group of people or race, you know? It's like, both of these ideas are ideas, they're there. Which one is true? How do you know that equality is the right idea? Is it because, oh, it makes us feel better, feel more altruistic? It feels right? No. That doesn't work in the world of philosophy. You need to justify why you have these ideas, and you need to justify why they are correct and why they should be applied to the world and not just to you personally in your personal life. Because everyone, okay, let me just rephrase that before even saying it. People live a certain way, and some people want others to live a certain way. Oh, sorry. Everyone lives a certain way, and everyone wants others to live that certain way. For example, if you say, no, I am religious or non-religious, and I don't care whether the other person next to me is or isn't, it's like, give me a second. Let me take you into deeper waters here. And not to sound arrogant, by the way. That sounds a bit arrogant, but no, I don't want to sound arrogant. I want to sound truthful, because I do want to say the truth and only the truth, as if I'm in court or something. So basically, people that are religious want other people to also be religious. For me, as an example, I'm a Muslim. I would wish everyone in the world to be Muslim, because that's the right way to live your life and the best way for you mentally, physically, and spiritually. I believe that wholeheartedly. I not more than believe that. I know that to be the right case, and I can justify to you why. However, let's take a step back now and say, okay, what about a secular person who has no religion? He just kind of wants to be left alone. He doesn't care whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim. Oh, by the way, let me just make sure that people understand this. I'm a Muslim that would prefer that the entire world around me was Muslim, but I understand that it's not, and I'm not going to force it to become Muslim. No. All I'm going to do is say what I believe and try to convince people through proper discussions and the creative ideas. And if you're convinced, good for you. And if you're not, hey, have a nice day. That's all it is. In Islam, we have this very clear verse that says, La ikraha fid din. There is no compulsion in religion. There is no compulsion in religion. You can't force someone to change their religion or choose your religion rather than what they believe. You can't force people to change what is inside them. You have to basically just lay out the ideas, tell them what's up, and if they like it or they don't, it's up to them. However, all that I have to do is basically make sure that I'm a positive force in this world, and I use the word force. I'm a positive person in this world, and that kind of talks about that kind of just spreads these ideas through my personality and character first and foremost, rather than my words, because actions speak louder than words. That's something we. So many bonus quotes this week, by the way. Anyway, going back. Now, if a person who is, let's say, non-religious, secular, doesn't believe in any specific religion, or maybe he does, and let's take the example if he doesn't, and he goes with this motto: "Hey, live and let live. I'll do my thing, you do your thing, and you don't have to, basically force each other to do things." And I'm gonna say right back to him, he thinks that this is a good idea. He thinks that this is like a rational idea. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do my thing, you do your thing. As long as we don't hurt each other, we're all good. So it doesn't matter if people do whatever they want. Let them, do these as what we Muslims would regard as sinful things. As long as they don't hurt each other or do anything bad to society, we're good. It's all good. Everything's just rainbows and what. Yeah, that doesn't work. Because check this out. By saying that so long as nobody gets hurt, it's okay, you're saying that there is such a thing as sin. There is such a thing as wrongdoing. You are saying that there is wrong actions that we're not supposed to do. By saying someone cannot hurt another person, you are imposing your ideology on the person who wants to do the harm. Why should the person who wants to do the harm listen to you? Now, keep in mind, I'm with you, but I'm asking you these questions for you to reconsider and kind of think about this thought process. Because I am with you in the idea that people should not harm each other, not because I believe in what you believe, which is, oh, we should just live this liberal lifestyle where hakuna matata and whatever. No. I believe that because I know it's wrong. I know it's definitely wrong for someone to hurt another person. I believe that because it's wrong. You say it's wrong because, well, the liberal person rather would say it's wrong because, well, it's just going to cause harm to society, and we don't want that because we want to maximize, the idea of utilitarianism, of everybody just having a good life. It's like, really, you want to maximize the idea of someone having a good life? How about a person who kind of wants to do, okay, it's going to get a bit, extreme here, but hey, bear with me. Someone who wants to do drugs and just wants to be left alone and just wants to do drugs until they die. Technically, by your worldview, that's an okay thing because he's doing drugs, something that's making him happy, and he's gonna die because of it, and then he's gonna die a happy person. Is that really the way we want this world to be? No. What we want is people to live by rules, by principles, rather than rules, principles that everybody abides by. We don't want people to think, we don't want people to harm one another. But keep in mind, when I say that, I can justify that philosophically. But when a liberal says that, a secular person says that, a person who has no religion says, no, we should just live however we want to live. It's okay. It's not right or wrong, so long as we don't harm one another. Oh, so you're saying there is a right and wrong. We shouldn't harm one another. Justify why that claim is the true claim. So that's basically what my point is. And wow, we kind of went deep into philosophy this episode. So I posed a few questions. See if anybody can comment and kind of like answer back and see, if we can take this discussion further. Because, by the way, these things that I'm telling you right now, I've read them and researched them thoroughly to make sure that these arguments are like bulletproof. My sources tend to be great people such as Hamzat Zortes and Mohamed Hijab, who both of which you can see on YouTube, and Dr. William Lane Craig, Christian doctor in philosophy, who also makes these arguments as well, which I kind of buy into as well, because he's making these universal arguments that apply to both religions of Islam and Christianity. However, we have separate discussions as to why Islam is the correct religion rather than Christianity. So anyway, this episode has gone long enough. I've given you enough food for thought. So this has been the Candlelight Podcast. I don't want to really take more of your time right now. It's 30 minutes long. I really don't want to make it more than 30 minutes because you guys have other things to do as well. So this was the Candlelight Podcast by yours truly, Mohamed Abdalla. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you come back for more. And once again, believe you can, and you're halfway there. See you guys in the next one. Peace.